Welcome to Shooting the Bull, the official podcast of the Championship Darts Circuit. A casual conversation about the sport of darts, talking about topics of the day from a North American perspective, featuring a cast of characters and contributors from the CDC roster and the world of darts. Now here's your host, Anthony Eugenia.
Welcome in, everybody, to the latest episode of Shooting the Bull, the official podcast of the Championship Darts Corporation. I'm your host, Anthony Eugenia. We really are happy to have you this evening. You can find us on all social media platforms like Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok. You search up at Champ Darts, also on YouTube. So appreciate if you go subscribe to those channels. Give us a follow there. Also, you'll find this podcast on iTunes and Apple and Spotify, all your great podcast locations. So go give that channel a follow, if you will, and give the podcast a 5-star review if you like the product. We don't want you to lie, but we do want you to embellish a little bit, all right? So we're going to have a fun night tonight. We're going to take a look back at weekend 6 and the, and the tour itself, and then take a great look forward at the upcoming Continental Cup, which is just nary a week away. So without further ado, let's bring in one of the main big-time voices of the CDC, the man behind the microphone, Mr. Sean Green.
Hey, it is great to be here, my friend. It is an absolute pleasure. I always appreciate when you invite me on, and I'm excited to talk some darts with you tonight.
Awesome. Welcome in, brother. Doing well?
I'm doing great. I'm leaving tomorrow for a long stretch, so I'm going to miss the family for sure while I'm gone. And Kansas City first, and then flying straight to Philadelphia for the Continental Cup. And with my birthday, the opening night of Continental Cup, I'm just excited, man. It's going to be a great week. I'm looking forward to a lot of great action. First Continental Cup, but Kansas City as well is going to be a lot of fun.
We're throwing your birthday party in Philadelphia. How awesome!
If I get a cheesesteak, I win.
Right.
You know?
So speaking of birthdays, we want to acknowledge and give a shout out to the man who's been the producer for Shooting the Bull. Today is the day of his birth. So happy birthday to Jeff McMahon! Yeah, baby.
The McManimal does so much behind the scenes, everybody, that without him, the show is half the show that it is.
We all gleefully sort of like all day, we're like, don't mess with Jeff. Don't let him just sort of kick back, have a few cold ones, and enjoy his birthday. So, Jeff, all the best from everybody on the crew. We so value what you do and appreciate you. So we wish you the best. Sitting in his stead, we have to acknowledge we got an absolute home run with Patrick Patches McGlynn sitting in for us tonight, the man, and this is his wife laughing as I stumble over that one.
That's all right.
Patches is rocking it behind the scenes, and he's going to help us bring all of the great pictures and stuff. And are you there with us to say hi? We got your audio.
Yep. Yes, sir. I absolutely am.
Awesome.
Hello, everybody. No, it's an absolute honor. My maiden voyage as a producer for Shooting the Bull this evening. Couldn't be more excited. And thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome.
Welcome aboard, welcome aboard, brother. He'll be surfing the behind the scenes KJ as well. We will be keeping an eye on the chat. So if you want to get involved in the show, drop us a comment there in the chat. And later on in the show, we hopefully will get a chance to answer questions and do some chats. So thank you, Mr. Patches.
I'll be watching.
Yes. Yeah, Mr. Patches. Yes, ma'am. So we'll let Patches head back to the background, and we'll if there's anything that you want to jump in, feel free as we get the conversation going. So we're going to look at weekend number 6 as we put a finish on the 2025 Championship Darts Circuit. So we've got a graphic that will show you the 3 winners from that weekend, and then Sean was behind the microphone for that, so he's going to give us a little encapsulation of that. So we'll see if Pat can pull up that first one in the overlay.
Well, while he's working on that, I can talk about
please.
The weekend itself is always the exciting one, right? It's the last weekend of the year. Who is going to make the Continental Cup Tour Finals Championship? Who is going to qualify for the World Masters? Who is going to get their cross-border spot solidified, who's going to retain tour cards. There was so much on the line. And I got to be honest with you, without David Garfinkel sitting next to me, updating stats in real time on his graphic spreadsheet, we would not have sounded as smart as we did the entire time, having like minute by minute updates on the exact rankings and where everybody was. So having him next to me the entire weekend was amazing. Hats off to Garfinkel, who's flying to England right now. Must be nice. But yeah, I mean, he was awesome.
Absolutely. You folks, you gotta try and imagine how much fun it is for us on that finals weekend where, like, listen, you don't come into the CDC crew. We've got a great big crew now, right? You don't come our way because you love tiddlywinks or lawn bowling or whatnot, right? You're a dart geek. So like the amount of, permutations and we just geek out that weekend, like you said, on who's going to what, who's going to qualify, who needs to make it to the last 16, so on and so forth. So yeah, let's just take a look at that winner graphic again, and I'll just acknowledge quickly, and then we'll go into it. So we got on Friday at the Dart Connect Championship. Congrats to Jim Long, Event 14 winner. We moved into Saturday, and you've got David Cameron winning the A to Z Darts Trophy. That was a win by 2. A double in. And then on Sunday, we finished up at the CDC Indianapolis 501, won there by Leonard Gates. So we'll get a blurb from those guys in a second. So give you a score line on Friday. Jim Long 7-3 over David Cameron. So Sean, give us recollections on that Event 14 from behind the mic.
Yeah, it was one of those events where David Cameron needed to have a good run to kind of solidify his spot for the Canadian spot. That was the only one that was really close to up for grabs. Of course, Adam Sabata and Stowe Bunce were battling up until the very last day for the Jay Tomlinson Trophy, which hats off to Adam Sabata for getting that job done. But Cameron came in. He wanted to at least get himself in the driver's seat on Friday, made it to the final. Only losing to Jim Long, his compatriot, in the final there. And Jim shot great. Dave averaged 92, and Jim still dismantled him 7-3 in that final and just made it kind of look easy. But what that did for Cameron is it made it really simple for him. He needed to go into the next day, win two matches, and he was good. So I know that took a lot of pressure on him, off of him on that Friday night, for sure.
So let's hear from Jim on keeping his focus and crossing the finish line on Friday night.
To focus on the actual dartboard and not about, man, what I'm doing, how I'm feeling, what my arm's doing, just to get my focus actually on the dartboard. And when the pressure game hit, that's when I played my best. So that's a good sign.
Yeah, congrats to Jim. And as you said, always, really good to see him back crossing the finish line, and a real solid performance from Jim Long. So now Saturday we move to the A to Z Darts Trophy and David Cameron. And this one, I know you're going to have a lot to bite into this one. David Cameron takes Stowe Bunce 7-6. This is a double in format, right? Double in, folks. All right. Stowe Bunce himself throws, nearly an 88 average double in a 7-6 losing effort. But Mr. Cameron, 95 he throws in that 7-6 victory, and in what you rightly coined an absolute instant CDC classic.
Oh, I mean, listen, you want to talk about the highlight of the entire weekend. It was that final on Saturday night. Let's put it in perspective for everybody watching along at home, right? Right now, the PDC is playing a double in, double out tournament. And so the averages, you can look to see how similar they are to our averages in this event from a couple weeks ago. And David Cameron would have the third highest average over the last 2 days of PDC coverage. So the only people that averaged more than him was Luke Humphreys, just, the world number one.
Yeah.
And Dirk Van Dijvenbode, who had a fantastic match yesterday. So other than that, Dave Cameron, third in the averages with a 95. And I mean, he was 8 for 8 in his last 8 legs on getting in on the first start. Wow. I don't care who you are. That's insane. Stowe Bunce had 3 150 plus checkouts. He missed another 2 150 plus checkouts. One on the last dart, one on the second dart. But I mean, listen, it was everything that you could have wanted in a final. It had everything. And for David Cameron to get across the finish line, he was free rolling at that point, but so was Stowe. That was almost just like a
Mhm.
victory lap for both of them, to where they could both, without pressure, play their best darts, and we saw it from both of them. It was a lot of fun to call that match.
Big finishes from Stowe, and Cameron adds his own in there, and just phenomenal stuff. So let's hear from David Cameron, as he talked about heading to the World Championships.
Just trying to be consistent, stay focused. There was a few times I thought I was done. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, everybody goes through ups and downs in the game, but you know what? Just put my head down for a minute and just take a few deep breaths and just get back at it, right? And just try to keep the pressure on your opponent. So it worked, and I was very lucky today. So I just want to keep on pushing, and then just go home, practice, and get ready for the Worlds.
Yeah, congrats to Excalibur David Cameron. Very very well earned, and he's thrilled to have a date again with the Wasp, with the Ali Pally Wasp, and we'll see how that goes in December. So Sunday, we one of my favorite events. I love this. I love that we've coined this a couple of years ago. Indianapolis has become sort of a CDC home, and rightly so. Half our staff are Hoosiers, first off, and second of all, we're just always so received with warmth and comfort in Indy. It's great to be there. So it's the CDC Indianapolis 501, which is great, which is just great. And the all-time champ, Leonard Gates, racks up his 13th tour win with a 7-3 victory over, essentially the man of the year in Adam Savada.
Yeah, absolutely. Leonard played phenomenal in that final, averaging almost 90 to get the job done 7-3 against Savada. But I just want to point out the fact that 4 of the people that qualified that weekend for Ali Pally, except for Leonard qualified for the cross border, but 3 out of the 4 who qualified for Ali Pally, that they all played in the finals last weekend, and it just showcased the top of our talent through and through, what they can deliver over at Worlds, and the excitement from everyone about going overseas and playing and getting back there. I know that for Savada, it's going to be great to get his inaugural on the stage. And I know that there's a lot of people that do not want to draw any of those players in the first round. And I don't blame them. Those guys now have a lot of experience now over on that stage. Man, what a great event. You had 4 great Americans in the semifinals, and it showcased just the amazing talent that our CDC has.
Yeah, to your point, they really put an exclamation point on their whole summer by coming into that last weekend, not letting their foot off the pedal. All of those big 4 essentially this year, and it's a real interesting crew that's headed over to the Worlds, and even the World Masters. It's a lot of big performances this year from the top of the class of the CDC. So let's listen to the Indianapolis 501 and your all-time leader with 13 wins, Mr. Leonard Gates.
It's the point of where these guys are coming up and they're close to me as far as winning these titles. I tell myself I want to stay ahead of those guys, so that's a little more motivation for me. I understand what they're trying to battle for, because when you get the ranking of like who won the most titles in CDC, they're gonna be like, all right, I got it, and I'm like, no, I got it. So that's what I want to keep it at.
And there's your man. There's Soldier. If you want to be the man, you got to beat the man, and that's the man right there. So let's quickly look. I'm going to now take over, and Sean, let's look at, just to give everybody, and we also want to congratulate the players that finished in the top 32 after a real long campaign. Oh, nope, that's not what I wanted. Wrong screen. Let me get back there. Okay, I was pulling up Q Schools earlier. No, we want our point standings. That's what we want. So there you go. There's your points standings, the final after that weekend 6. And I wanted to take a look at this, as I said, to acknowledge the players. And then, we did have 2 players from the top 16 in Jim Long and Jacob Taylor, not RSVP for the Continental Cup. So we'll get into the official 16 in a few minutes. So, you see your 8 there, and we'll talk about that 8 in a few minutes, as they book the trip also to the Winmar World Masters. And we'll just scroll down and give everybody watching a taste of what the top 16 is. And Sean, if you see any names that that you want to shout out to or give us blurbs on.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple down there near the bottom right that are making first time appearances in the Continental Cup. You got Caden Newberry, who came in early on this season, took Leonard Gates to a last lake decider, I believe weekend 1 or 2, and then the next day got over the line against Leonard Gates. So it was kind of like, oh, this kid, and his finishing is phenomenal as the 13 seed. He is a tough matchup for the 5 heading in there, and then Nick Lindbergh making another appearance. Is great to have him back in the Continental Cup. One of those mainstay guys for sure. Kylie Edmonds had a great year. And how about Chris Mahark coming out of nowhere, right? To get the job done. He has such a unique throw, but my goodness, is he an amazing human being. And I am so excited to see what he can do in the Continental Cup, because I think that personality can take you kind of far, especially in front of a crowd. And Chris definitely has a fun one
with the right mindset. And you're right. It is good to see good things happen to good people, and also people that put in the effort. And Chris has put in the effort, and that's and it's starting to pay off in a big way for Chris this year. So as we just scroll down again, just wanted to give everybody, this is a 16 event, campaign. So for players to make, the top 32 as we get to the bottom here is a real achievement. So we want to congratulate everybody that finished in the top 32. So we'll go back to Sean and I, and I'll give you a moment to give us a synopsis or any thoughts on the year. I just want to thank all the players that played and everybody that watched. It's incredible on behalf of my partners Peter and David and Jeff that we just put a cap on the 11th year of the circuit itself. So, to all the venues and everybody that cheered along, a big thank you. It's pretty incredible.
It is. And it's a testament to what you guys have done from the very get-go, and have allowed me to join the last 4 years has been absolutely phenomenal. And I've enjoyed the experience, and it's been so fun to see the players get better throughout these last 4 years. And the cream of the crop rose this year for sure. I mean, you had 5 event wins for Adam Savada. He won 4 in a row, 28 matches in a row, where you only had to fade 3 match starts total in that entire time. I mean, that's a run that it's like the Larry Butler 9-1 record. I don't think it gets beat at any point in time. And I mean, especially with how well Stowe Bunce was playing at the same time, he won 4 events this year, made a lot more finals. From the top, these guys dominated in a very, very tough field, the toughest field that we've seen in the last few years. Huge shout out to some of those new guys. Like I said, Caden Newberry, Danny Young making the Continental Cup. Tyler Reddy just missed out on the Continental Cup. Maybe he makes a wild card in the cross border. I don't have any say over that, but he's a great young kid who came on tour and just again performed extremely well. Chris Caldwell performed well, but the guy I really want to talk about is Daryl Christie. You want to talk about a guy who's been around our tour for a while, and just for him to break through the way that he has, it is exciting. It's been fun. Another one of those great human being stories on top of everything else. And I think that he is going to be a lot of fun as a storyline of the Continental Cup.
Yep, and that's really where we're going to go. There's sort of your cap on the circuit itself, and we'll take that turn because we've got, as Sean is teasing, a great mix of these big top dogs, but these other players who've really been making a name for themselves. So if you want to join us in person in Philadelphia, we're going to put up a graphic here in a second, and I'll read a little info on how to get tickets. 4th one down. Patches, give me second row, first one. Tickets for the Continental Cup. There we go. Tickets are on sale now for the CDC Continental Cup. North America's best dart players battling it out live in Philadelphia. 2 days of nonstop action. Every dart, every finish, and the energy you can only feel in person. So don't miss it, October 17th and 18th, and you can get your tickets today at champdarts.com. So it's going to be a blast, a great venue, a great town, good food, great darts, and just a wonderful weekend. and it's Sean Green's birthday.
Well,
Can't beat that, right?
no, you can't beat that. You also, we're going to have the great Richard Ashdown with us. The comms team is going to be fantastic that weekend, except for me. I love the other three that you brought on, including yourself. It's going to be a great show, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Like the Columbia Social Club last year was a good time. This time it's going to be even better. So get your tickets. You do not want to miss these top players playing in front of you. We might get a 9-darter again this year. We got it at the cross border a couple years ago, and I think that it's probably due to have one of the Continental Cup.
How could you not, Sean? With the quality we talked about, Cameron throwing a 95 and a double in and a et cetera, and the Savada summer, and and like you said, Bunce putting up a bunch of wins himself. How could you knock the possibility of a 9-darter?
I mean, you can't. It's definitely possible, and I think that it might occur. But the battles are going to be epic. Every single matchup, you got a flash of it earlier on the screen, but they're all phenomenal. It's hard to really hands down pick a favorite this year.
So
and that's kind of the fun part.
Yep. So let's take a look. So Pat, the next graphic to the right there, the CDC Continental Cup field, the red and black one, and we'll take a look at the players. Yep, there we go. That have RSVP'd. Like we said, we had 2 players in Long and Taylor declined. So we went down to the 18th spot. And that gets in the 3-time world champ there in John Part. So I'm going to quickly read for the listeners on the podcast. Your 1 seed, Adam Savada; 2 seed, Stowe Bunce; 3 seed, David Cameron; 4, Leonard Gates; 5, Alex Spellman; 6, Daryl Christie; 7, Gary Mawson; 8, Jason Brandon; 9, Doug Boehm; 10, Kylie Edmonds; 11, Caden Newberry; 12, Nick Lindberg; 13, Danny Young; 14, Chris McCarg; 15, Joey Lenaw; and 16, John Part. That, my friend, is a championship field.
It is full of a lot of champions in this field, right? I mean, you have Stowe Bunce, Continental Cup champion, Leonard Gates, Alex Spellman, Gary Mawson. You have Doug Boehm, who's a finalist in this. And then, again, you have those newcomers, right? And Chris Maharg, Danny Young, Caden Newberry, Daryl Christie. And again, Daryl Christie as the 6th seed is so much fun to see. And that 6 versus 11, oh boy.
Absolutely.
That could be just an absolute phenomenal match between 2 debuts in the Continental Cup. And I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah, Daryl Christie picked up a win this year. And then you see in that 5 seed a resurgent Alex Spellman. People were noting that late in the summer that looks like Spellman's back on the beam. And so
he looked it on Monday too.
Oh boy, that he did. So now we'll take a look at the bracket, and then Sean and I will go through. We've got brackets here, and then we'll go through the particular matches as we look at the schedule. So Sean, I didn't really want to press you, on any major predictions. We put that out publicly. We want everyone else to have a lot of fun by, let us know on social media who you think is going to be in the semis, winning their quads, and then, who's going to be hoisting the Continental Cup. So what direction do you want to take here? Do you want to give me a couple predictions, or, which matches out here are really jumping out at you?
Okay. So yeah, I'll give a couple of maybe more of the surprising predictions, perhaps. Just in a couple of these, there's a Texas history between Danny Young and Leonard Gates. And I know that Danny is itching against Leonard here, and he might get that upset. He is playing phenomenal, and he has the talent to, as the 13th seed, to defeat the defending champion in the first round. And Leonard, he either wins in the first round and makes it to the final, or he'll be out early. So I could see that as a potential upset there for sure. The 13 over the 4. And then my other one that I'm looking at is it's that Caden Newberry, Daryl Christie match. I don't see how that does not go to a last leg decider. They both finish so well. And I think that that's going to be something that you get to see at the highest quality in that match. and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, that matchup really jumped out to everybody. So thank you for that. And so now let's look at, and we have our schedule ready to go. This hasn't been made public yet, so this is a nice debut.
Hey.
This is your full schedule for Saturday and Sunday at the Continental Cup. So we'll dive into that first round in just a moment, but this is what you're going to get in Philadelphia at 7 o'clock on Friday and 6 o'clock on Saturday. And we will also touch on later on in the evening the Evolution final you see up there. Saturday night, Joey Lenoir takes on Gavin Nickel. So if you can't join us, we will be streaming live on YouTube and PDC TV. So you will be able to see all of these matches live. And Sean will be the flagship of our coverage in that weekend. So now let's go to the Friday night and just look at the matchups as they break down on Friday night. So we open up with Nick Lindberg, the 12, taking on Alex Spellman, the 5, and you give me a little take on each of these, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, Lindberg is just that steady force that's been on tour since the beginning. And he's taken on Alex Spellman, who we just mentioned might be a little bit more he's on his way back. And if we get the full version of Alex Spellman, I could see Alex Spellman winning that one and moving on to tomorrow or to Saturday night. But Lindberg's going to give him a tough test. I really like that as an opening match. I think that's a good, guy's demeanor is very stoic for both players as far as like how they're going to present, but you got Alex Spellman as a showcase right out the gate.
Yeah, you want to be in your seats, get your popcorn, get your beverages, and be in your seat. And we've got Jason Brandon, a call out for Brandon Lindberg. All right.
Hey.
So Lindberg to open up with a win, says Sean. So second match, just so we make sure that nobody can catch their breath, we move into an 8, always a tasty matchup, the 8-9. So Doug Boehm, the 9, takes on Jason Brandon, the 8.
Yeah, Doug Boehm's going to be a fan favorite. He is every year when he plays live. It brings out like a special quality in him where he becomes a showman for sure, and that's always going to be a lot of fun. But he's taken on the Lakeside semifinalist in Jason Brandon, the guy who defeated Stephen Bunting on the stage at MSG earlier this year, and that's going to be a great battle. And I know Doug and Jason were battling for that 8 seed to see who was going to qualify for the World Masters throughout that last weekend. And Jason got it done. And I think that's going to be a great matchup. I know Doug wants to get back to the MSG stage, and this is a very clear path to that in the Continental Cup.
An 8-9 grudge match there. And then we move on to the number 16 seed, a gentleman you may have heard before. John Part takes on the 1 seed in Adam Savada.
Wow. Right. Like if you're a 1 seed and that's okay. You just have to play the greatest player in North American history. And John Part. So yeah, and John's not been playing poorly at all. It's one of those situations where as Savada, I think might have rather there not have been a huge change in who's going to move forward to play him. Right. And so John's going to go in there wanting to get the job done, and Savada's got to be on his A game.
Yeah, and John is essentially, you get in as that 16 seed. He's got nothing to lose, and that's a dangerous place for anybody on the other side of that, for having a John Part just coming in completely wheeling and dealing, and taking a stab at a Continental Cup championship. So we move into match number 4, the showdown between residents of the great state of Texas. Your number 13 seed, Danny Young, takes on the 4 seed and your reigning Continental Cup champion, Leonard Gates.
Yeah, I mean, Leonard, 13-time champion now on tour. He won the first event this year. He just finished and capped off event number 16. And he won the first event of the year overall with the cross border after wrapping up the end of last year with the Continental Cup. So he is holding every title.
Yep, he's exactly. That's what the image I had. He's walking in with belts over the shoulder and belts on, and if there's a CDC championship right now, it's in Gates's pocket.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think Danny Young is going to be up for that task, and I'm really looking forward to that battle. It'll be a good one.
So now to sort of open up the second part of the evening, things are now really going to get cooking. And in match 5, here is that Caden Newberry, the 11th seed match against Darryl Christie, your 6.
Yeah, I mean, I'm chomping at the bit to see those two guys in action. And first of all, to see how they perform in front of an audience is going to be great to see for the first time. And I really think that both guys have the game to bring a lot of firepower. They're finishing again. If they're within that 150 range, there's a chance it goes out. They are that good on doubles.
We move into a match that I don't want people to really sleep on, because this is a matchup that has, the ability to really see some high-powered scoring, and you've got the number 10 seed, and Kylie Edmonds takes on the number 7 seed, Gary Mawson.
Yeah, Kylie was a mainstay in the quarterfinals this year on tour. He made plenty of them. And that being said, Gary Mawson made a final again this year. He made a couple semifinals. You can never sleep on Gary Mawson, the former UK Open semifinalist. Finalist, excuse me. He's going to be up for the task. He's the only player, and I know you're going to mention this, who's made every single Continental Cup. And he doesn't like to be the only player that makes the Continental Cup. He also wants to win those matches.
He's tasted victory before, and that is quite an achievement. Here we are in year 11 that he's made all 10 of the Continental Cups outside of that COVID year. Now we move into our 7th match. Joey Lanaugh, the 15 seed in the main event proper. We will see him Saturday in the Evo final. He takes on the 2 seed, Stowe Bunce.
Yeah, listen, if Joey got a better draw than Stowe, I think that Joey would have a better chance. However, I remember that kid a couple years ago qualifying for the Continental Cup and the Evolution Tour finals, and he made the semifinals of the Continental Cup that year. He played a match and then had to go to the Evolution Tour finals and then go back to get ready for another match. It was insane. He did lose the Evo finals, I think because of that. But it's a tough draw against Stowe, who's been lights out all year.
And then we finish up with what could be a real banger in the 8th spot there. Your 14th seed, Chris McCarg, takes on the 3 seed, David Cameron.
Yeah, two guys that playing late at night is not going to bother them at all. They are going to be just as focused at 10:30 as they would have been if they had the 7 o'clock opening match. And so I think we're going to get the best out of both players. And I've seen some last league deciders between these two. And McHarg is that 14 seed is a tough draw for David Cameron. Nothing to lose again for Chris. So he's just excited to be there. And I could see him pulling an upset, but David Cameron's been so good all year. I really see Excalibur making it kind of far this year in the Continental Cup.
So there's your rundown on the upcoming Continental Cup next Friday night in Philadelphia. If you're close, if you want to drive in, there's still some tickets available. Join us. Look up on champdarts.com to get some tickets. It's a great venue. You're going to have a great time. The whole deal. Great music and walk-ons. Lots of fun. These players are really going to bring it. And if you can't make it and you're going to be home, pull up on the couch. Pull up YouTube, PDC TV, put it up on the big TV. Enjoy the commentary, enjoy the sights and sounds of the 2025, Continental Cup presented by Cosmo. So, don't miss it, whether it be in person or online. And we are really excited to bring it to you. So now let's take a little turn and let's have some fun. This is something I know Sean was really excited to see. Today on our social media platforms, we launched a little bit of a battle, the battle of the walk-ons.
I love it.
The CDC players here in the Continental Cup. Every day for the next few days, we'll have 2 matches, and you can vote on Facebook and Instagram, and we will tally those. And the players, we were gonna have a little bracket, so players will advance to take on each other. Today dropped the 1 and the 16 seed, John Part and Adam Savata. So go ahead, Sean, have some fun with the battle of the walk-ons.
Yeah. So John, I love you so much. you have the worst walk-on song. It's not your fault. It's just it's
Yeah.
part of,
Oh my goodness, I had the same reaction. I can see our producers with their mouths agape. Yeah. Oh my God. Go on, Sean. Keep digging that hole.
Listen, Wayne calls it the worst walk-on song, like, because he's the nickname. Darth Maple is what it is. Hell's Bells with Adam Savada as the Reaper. You get the bell right at the beginning sound. It's a classic, and I think that's why I picked Savada here. But I'm interested now to hear your take on the Imperial March as not the worst walk-on song.
Ouch. KJ says Sean is wrong. Just end of story. Well, I don't necessarily am going to go John's way. I just actually happened to follow it today on Facebook, and there were a lot of people that just simply were saying that, and they all used the same word, iconic. It was just, it's John, it's iconic. I think it's going above the exact song, because I know where you're coming from, but I think the total package of John, what he's done, world champion, that sort of thing, of course the Savada song is about as good as you're going to get. It's a walk-in song extraordinaire in every sort of sport and discipline. Like you said, when those bells start hitting, forget about it, right? So it's wild that we sort of opened up with a real intriguing match. So it's in the people's hands.
Listen,
this competition is for the people.
If John brings back Chewbacca and Princess Leia as a part of that walk-on, then fine. You know what? That walk-on wins. But we're going to need Princess Leia there.
If you know, the people of New York know that we can get a Chewbacca, and I'm not going to say any words, and I'm sure we could probably find an R2-D2. Again, use your imagination. Who's on the CDC staff. Let's see what
about the same height difference too.
That's all I'm saying. But what a great. So go have some fun, everybody. Go vote on that. I want KJ to chime in here. You can even give it to me privately. What's the sort of parameters on when that's going to stop? Is it the end of today or a couple of days? So I'll give that to you. And there's KJ.
Hey.
Hi. I was equally surprised. So we'll have 2 matches every day, leading up to the finals, and you can vote all the way up until midnight. We'll have each match. One match will start at 8:30 in the morning, and the next match will start at 9:30 in the morning, and voting all day. So
I love it.
Yeah,
what a great idea.
Oh, thank you.
Fantastic.
I'm very excited about it. And if you want to hear the songs, if you go to our stories, so you'll see the graphics. But if you click on our stories, I actually am putting the graphics with the songs and the stories, so you can get like a feel and decide. But Sean, you are wrong. So
and we just had a message from R2-D2 herself, told us to go take a hike.
Yeah, I'm sure she said it in those colorful words.
Yes.
Also, I have cosplayed as Princess Leia many a times if John Part needs me.
Sean, you asked and you shall receive. It sounds like we're going to get this walk on. So, yep. So folks, you can, you join in, have some fun. You can still, get to our Facebook and our Instagram and vote on that. And so let's look at the second one from today. And then you stay tuned as 2 more come to you each and every day. So now we move to Stowe Bunce and Joseph Ladaw.
Yeah, man. Kryptonite by Three Doors Down is like my childhood. I remember being 13 and like jamming out to that at my birthday party back in the day. But I mean, you got to celebrate good times. Come on, right?
Come on. You got to.
I love Joey, but I'm going to take
solid. I think that's solid. Yeah. Unfortunately, it seems Joseph might be outgunned once again, just slightly. Because Stowe's going to, it's again, hey, it's up to each and every one of you to vote the way you wish. But again, it's sort of another total package thing. Stowe's going to come in looking good, colorful, and have that real great stage presence, which makes a really fun walk on.
Yeah, Joey will smell the best because we wear the same cologne, but Stowe will definitely have the better outfit on and probably the better walk on overall. Now, I will say the nickname Kryptonite would be much better for Joey than Silent but Deadly. So if he wants to do that, that would work out great.
That's a shot across the bow.
Listen, I'm just trying to get him away for that nickname. at some point.
So yeah, a great fun thing that just got launched today. So stay tuned to our Facebook and Instagram. 2 matches each day, and you get to decide who advances in the battle of the walk-on songs. All right. So with that down, now let's give you a little tease and a little promo about our newsletter, a place where you can get all great CDC information. And we'll there's our graphic there. The CDC newsletter subscribers, they get first access to Continental Cup tickets. Don't miss out on exclusive news and insider access, along with tips on improving your own dart game. So to sign up for the newsletter, go to champdarts.com. champdarts.info/in-the-know, and we'll run a ticker on that, and you can get that newsletter, and you can also use that QR code. And if you go to the CDC website, right on the homepage is a great sign up for the newsletter. So if you don't want to miss out on what's coming up CDC, because we've got great news coming up for 2026, where just about ready to announce maybe the cross border. So there's some good stuff to tease for the 2026 CDC campaign. So stay tuned with the newsletter. All right. So now, Mr. Sean, let's take a turn and talk about some of the young players in our system. All right. Yeah. So as we looked, we've talked about Joey a little bit, and we saw on that schedule, we have the 2025 CDC Evolution Tour Finals Championship on Saturday night. So I'm just letting Patrick know. Third column down, all the way to the right, is your Evolution graphic. Let's get that up here. And there you go. There's Gavin Nickel. And let me check my notes. Gavin comes in as the 1, I believe, right? And Joey is the 2, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to give you my take at first, and then I'm curious to hear yours. I mean, this is, Aaron Quinn and I have chatted about this. Aaron is our youth director. This is sort of a culmination of what we've been working on the last couple of years. I mean, these two have been stalwarts in both the junior level and now into the Evolution. They both went to the first team that we sent to Gibraltar. They've both won junior titles. They've both won a lot of Evolution, titles. Gavin hasn't won an overall Evolution title. Joey has. So it just feels, and this is their last year of eligibility, it is the proverbial immovable object meets the, I can't even remember the rest of the phrase now. I just screwed it up. The immovable object meets the irresistible force. And that's your Nickel Lenore best of 11 Saturday night.
It's as good as a Continental Cup match. It really is. I mean, of course, Joey qualified for it this year, but Gavin is such a good player. A sneaky good player. I mean, of course, his father, Timmy, was a mainstay of our tour. And now Gavin gets to, as the legacy, gets to take up that spot on the mantle. And it's really cool to see Gavin in this final. He's played very well, and it's so much fun to see these kids grow into a great matchup that we're excited to see, where averages could be up there with some of the Continental Cup averages for sure.
Yeah, this is not just filler. This is going to completely whet the appetite for the Continental Cup final that'll follow it. And yeah, these two players can throw big averages, take big outshots. Joey, Joey's been Joey, and we've watched him progress as a youth player, but now as a main tour player. And Gavin's almost having a sort of resurgence. Gavin was a big part of, as I said, our juniors and Evolution, but took a step back, got settled in life a little bit, and it seems I think he's about the best version of Gavin Nickel that we've seen yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm really excited to see this final. I think it's going to be epic. It's one of those ones where, they both play at a quick pace. So it's going to be pleasing to the eye on top of it. I'm really looking forward to it. I don't see a negative at all in that battle. It's going to be one for the ages.
So those two players, it's not often that you get to warm up with a world championship, but those two players are going to be part of the 4 players that represent North America this Monday, actually, in Wigan for the Winmar World Youth Championship. And there you go. We've got a graphic for that. So we want to, certainly wish the best of luck and congratulate these 4 players. You got Nicholas Cripps and Trevor Pettigrew representing Canada, and Joey Lanaugh and Gavin Nickel representing the USA. And these were not just handed out. These were all earned on our Evolution Tour. These players went out and earned these spots. And I know that some of them are in travel already. I think Trevor might even be in Wigan already. I think they're going to play. The PDC offers up some developmental events prior. So they'll play those for the weekend. And then on Monday is, unless they've changed the format, and pardon me if they have, it's a round robin that I think it's like a 96 player round robin, and this is worldwide representation. I mean, this is an honor. These young players are legitimately playing in a world championship, and this is the event that we've seen that, Michael Smith and John Van Veen and Luke Littler and Dimitri Vandenberg won 2 in a row. This is that major event. So congrats to these 4 players.
Was this the event that we saw PJ Stewart versus Luke Littler on the stage? Or was that a different final?
It was the I want to say no, it was not. That was a JDC week, I believe. That was
Gotcha.
that they build a full week of great tournaments, and that was one of those tournaments where PJ was up there against Luke. Yeah.
But yeah, you look at that group that we're sending over. Nicholas Cripps won the Evolution Tour last year.
Yep.
So he's the current Evolution Tour champion. So we'll actually have the last 2 Evolution Tour champions that are going to be over there, including the one that wins this year, whoever that may be between Joey and Gavin. So really looking forward to that battle and to be able to support them from here. I know I'll be watching along on Dart Connect the entire time, and it's so fun to see those guys have success on a big stage like that too. And I think that they will.
Yep. Stay tuned to CDC social media. We'll keep you updated on Monday, and we'll send out the right links, and you can check it all on Dart Connect. And yeah, Joey's been in this event before, and Joey made I think the last 16 of the event a few years ago. I think it might have been his first outing at it. So I know Joey's definitely chomping at the bit to get back in the mix. And the 2 players that come out of this, they then go compete live on stage right before the final of the PDC Players Championship at the end. The end of November, I believe. So it's another great opportunity for young players to, get the highest showcase possible, right?
It's so cool. And it's so cool that we continue to have opportunities to send players and do that from our youth all the way up to our main tour guys.
And it should be said, and I should have said it earlier, I mean, these are opportunities that our affiliation with the PDC affords us. So, thank you to Matt Porter and the board of the PDC for extending these opportunities, as you said. And, we have JDC opportunities as well. So from our main tour to our Evolution Tour to our junior tour, players get opportunities to play on an international stage for world championships, and you can only get that as part of the championship darts circuit. All right. So now that begs the question, right? We talked about these great events that these CDC players are in. Now, how can you now become part of the CDC roster? Well, I'll tell you, it all kicks off tomorrow. We launched the 2026 CDC Q School Series at the Scary Hair Open in Colorado. All right. So there is your current lineup of Q schools: 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 that are booked currently. Another few I know are behind the scenes, in the works. And we will be offering at least one, but I suspect a few virtual opportunities to earn tour cards. We know that that's a popular way to play. So we want to offer those up. So we're just sort of figuring out the schedule. So you can head to Champ Darts. I think it's /Q Schools. you can certainly find the tabs at the top, and that'll bring you to the Q School pages, and you can get all of the information on, what it takes to enter, what the format is, all of that stuff. And, we thank all of these great tournaments that will host a Q School event. And this is, folks, this is the way to earn a tour card, because to play on the 2026 Championship Darts Circuit, you must have a tour card, and this is how you earn it. So if you've got a little take on that, Sean, on Q Schools.
Yeah, I mean, just might as well give it a shot. You don't know unless you go out there and compete. I know two of my really good friends from the north side of Indianapolis. They went to shoot the Rapids last year, and both of them have a great run that day, and they're both tour card holders for this year and next year. So it can be done. It doesn't matter. It could be your day on any day. And I have to also give a huge shout out. I know that our boys across the pond love to do this, but the Scary Hair Open is one of my favorite names ever of a dart tournament. Of course, shoot the Rapids and was the moon.
Shoot for the moon down in Huntsville.
Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
So great.
Yeah. Dan Dawson is always one to love some of the event names that take place across North America. So
Scary Hair is one of my favorites now. That's awesome.
And what a good place to start. We started the Scary Hair. So keep tabs on social media tomorrow. You can still, if you're a player in the area and you're headed to that tournament, you can register on site. So look for Brenda Rausch tomorrow on site. So you can register for that. Keep an eye out on Dart Connect. You'll be able to follow the event, and we'll also let you know all the results on CDC social media. Okay. Trying to think of any other thoughts that we've got as we bring the show to a close. Behind the scenes, guys, we have any comments or anything from the chat? Nope. So that is the Q School series. So get out there and get playing. Sean, as we wrap things up, I want to say thank you for joining us tonight. And I know, like you said, you've got a big darting adventure on tomorrow. And what else you got going on, and who else you want to say hi to?
Well, just hi to everyone who watches along and who's been watching along all year. The chat has been fantastic on YouTube all year long for the CDC. I appreciate you guys following along with all the players. And listen, get to the Continental Cup next week. It is going to be an absolute party. I know I'm going to have a party on that Friday night, no matter what anyone else does. So it's going to be a great time. A lot of great players. Get involved and do that. And AE, it is such a pleasure to be on this show every time. I can't thank you enough for the continued offers to be on it. And I will always pinch myself every time I get that opportunity, because to be able to sit here and do this is it's an honor. It really is. And it's helped me be able to do things that I'm going to be doing, like going to TOC this weekend and watching these guys perform at the highest level in soft tip, and win a lot of money before heading right over to Philadelphia to see a lot of the same guys battle out for lots of money. And it's going to be a great time. I cannot wait to have as many cheesesteaks as possible. I'm looking forward to that more than anything else, to be honest with you.
Well, thank you, my friend, for joining me. It is always a pleasure, and I love what you bring to the show. And I hope everybody out there had a really good time. Thanks for joining us tonight. I want to say thank you to Patrick, the producer for the show. Thank you for giving so much time to help things get all set up. Thank you, KJ, always for your support. Happy birthday, Jeff, out there. I want to say thanks to the whole CDC team for always continuing to support the show. Don't forget, we want to go out with, of course, if you want to make the Continental Cup and come see us in person, be in that room. You get tickets at www.champdarts.com. Okay, so come see us next Friday night, next Saturday. It is going to be a blast. All right, and stay tuned. I just remembered, I think there might be a great watch party in the works too. Might be in the Indianapolis area, so stay tuned for social media info on that. And if you're going to watch us from home or in a watch party, so maybe you'll be inspired, we'll be broadcasting on YouTube and PDC TV. All right, so stay tuned for the upcoming week on great stuff coming up, that walk-on contest, all the blurbs about the players, a jam-packed week of social media as we lead right into Philadelphia next Friday night. All right. Catch us next month as we will hope to catch up with the winner of the Continental Cup on our next episode of Shooting the Bull. So for the entire team, I'm Anthony Eugenia. Thank you for watching. Have a great night.
Thanks for joining us for Shooting the Bull, the official podcast of the Championship Darts Circuit. Subscribe to the show so you don't miss an episode, and follow us at Champ Darts on social media to keep up with all of the latest news on North American darts.